Hi Scorpio, this is your astrology forecast for February 2016. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to give you a rundown of the themes that will be affecting you. And the first thing that's going on is on the 1st of February, you've got your Venus connecting with your Neptune. Okay, Venus is in Capricorn in your third house of communication, and Neptune is in Pisces in your fifth house of romance and children. So you'll feel very much able to communicate your own wants, your needs in a very clear and concise way at the beginning of the month. And you'll also have a very kind of ethereal quality to you in terms of what you're saying. So be aware that what you put out there is going to have an impact on people, and you really have the power on the 1st of February to make someone feel great, amazing, or to make them feel the other way. So you have that responsibility and you can really help someone out. I remember I was a couple of years ago, I was just having the worst day in the world and I was just like on the floor. And I went to the supermarket and someone smiled at me and it lifted me out completely. It was amazing. So little things like that, you don't have any clue how much that can help another person. So on the 1st, you really have the opportunity to make someone's life better. On the 2nd, Venus squares Uranus, and Venus, still in your third house in Capricorn, connects with Uranus in Aries, the desire to achieve things, the desire to do things in your working life. So on the 2nd, the focus shifts a little bit, and I think you really want to get busy in terms of your career and to really get things organized and to be effective, and very motivating, strengthening day. The 3rd of February sees the Moon and Saturn connect to Uranus as well. And they create something that I call a triangle of harmony. It's a trine and it's two sextiles combining to make this triangle. And basically, your effectiveness and your ability to move forward when it comes to your work and your self-reliance is really going to enable you to do something wonderful in your working life. I'm just checking what day this is. 3rd of February is a Wednesday. So if you have a regular job, Wednesday will be a working day. Look out for the ideas, the opportunities for progress that come in and that you make happen through your own energy, your own output. It will really get you to a place where your work can become much bigger and more harmonious and a much more rewarding theme in your life. There's a Grand Cross on the 4th, and a Grand Cross is when 4 squares, so a square is an aspect when 2 planets are 90 degrees apart. 4 of them combine to create a big square in the sky, and it can make you feel somewhat pushed and pulled in lots of different directions. For you specifically, Scorpio, the questions and the pushing and pulling is going to be between I want to realize my hopes and dreams, I want to do something for me today, then I want to make money, I want to be successful, I want to get things sorted out, but I also want other people to see that I'm successful and that I was right all along, as in I'll show them. And then the Ascendant in Gemini in your 8th, which is about it's my role to be with other people and to work with other people. So you're literally all over the place on the 4th. I think even more so since some of the other signs, because you've got really positive feelings towards other people and then some negative stuff, and it all gets mishmashed, and you can really spin yourself out on this day. So for the 4th of Feb, take it really simply. Realize that you're not going to solve every life problem in one day. What I would focus on is working at realizing your hopes and dreams and the financial side of things, because that's really where you have the most inspiration and where the best things are coming in. So leave the other stuff alone. Don't focus so much on relationships and altering them and getting into all of that. A T-square occurs on the 5th of February. That connects your Chiron in your 5th and your Jupiter in your 11th. Again, okay, this is interesting, but it takes a different direction now, and it does focus on the relationship side of things. And what comes up for you, Scorpio, is a sense of disappointment, betrayal, loss when it comes to another person. And what's really going to be helpful is if you speak to someone about that today, either on a one-to-one basis, like seeing a counselor or a therapist, or being part of a group where you can express it, there's the real potential for you to put that to bed, and so that you can leave it behind, draw a line under it, and be more optimistic for your future in your relationship life. Because what I'm seeing, you, like everybody else, like me, like everyone, you're carrying baggage around from your past, and it makes a reappearance on the 5th of February, and it may hurt a bit. Okay? And it directly opposes what you can achieve in your romantic life, but you don't have time or space for that kind of thing. Get rid of it. And take practical action to get rid of it. There's a yard occurring, and I'm pointing my finger because it's called the finger of God. It's between Mars in your first, Venus in your third, and both of them quincux, they both point towards your rising sign in your 8th house. So Mars is the archetypal male principle, Venus is the archetypal female. When you put those two together, you get new beginnings, new life. Okay, that's how it works on planet Earth. And when they combine here via a yard towards your rising sign, what that means for you, Scorpio, is that you develop a new sense of seeing yourself, and you get an answer to an internal question that's been bugging you. So on the 5th, if you talk about your problems in terms of past relationships that have been difficult, and you continue to do that work or mull over what you received the day before, you can really make some massive progress. This is self-help at its best. So if there's been something that you haven't been able to overcome, you know, a lot of people I speak to are unable to let go of relationships, even if a long time has passed since that relationship's come and gone. And I can really relate to this. When I was at university, I was obsessed with someone I didn't even have a relationship with, and it was 10 years later before I stopped thinking of that person, really. It had nothing to do with reality. So we can really, I think what goes on with that is that when you meet someone who really you're just attracted to and who seems to be perfect, you can often, or this is what I did, you can transfer all of your hopes and dreams and your desires onto that person, and they don't just become a person, they become the vehicle which is going to get you to bliss and fulfillment. And that puts so much pressure on that other person, and it becomes completely detached from reality. And that's something that can leave a scar. So for the people unfortunate enough who've had that experience, it's very painful, it leaves a scar. This is the kind of thing that you can resolve once and for all. So it's a nice cleansing month for you. February is Aquarius anyway, the water bearer, letting go of the old, letting go of the negative, crappy stuff. And really that's what you can do here. On the 10th of February, the moon starts to conjunct Chiron in that 5th house. And it opposes Jupiter and the North Node. And that, again, is very, very similar. It's feeling more comfortable within yourself now. Still feeling that pain, taking practical actions to let it go, whether it's doing some inventory, writing it out. But again, this whole process of self-cleansing, detoxing from the 8th to the 10th, very, very powerful. So you've got an ability to really transcend something that's been painful. Chiron stops quincunxing the rising sign on the 12th. And what that means is that you stop that kind of process of internal change. I think the door closes on that a little bit now. And you start to get a little bit more back to normal. You focus on the real world again. And this kind of period of self-help, self-discovery comes to a close. The next day, on the 13th, the moon begins to square Mercury and Venus, which are both in your 3rd house in Capricorn. And the moon here for you is right on top of your descendant. And it really shows me that there's a renewed sense of, I am looking for something, okay? So when you're in emotional pain, the focus is often to completely protect yourself, and you build walls and you shut yourself off. When you've healed that pain, you can become more secure in yourself and you can become more outward looking. And that's really what I feel happens to you this month. You're able to let go of something that's really been harming you, and you start to communicate with love, and you start to communicate practically and start to think about practical things that you can do to bring love into your life. So that's the day before Valentine's Day, which is very, very appropriate. On Valentine's Day itself, Mercury goes into Aquarius in your 4th house. And basically, that, like I said for the day before, the part of yourself that prevented people from really accessing the true you, the most vulnerable inner you, that door is flung open and you give people access again. And then the work can start. Then you can go on dates, then you can meet people, then you can make an effort to be in a relationship that you want to be in. Because a lot of people, again, I'm sorry I'm lecturing you, but a lot of people that are hurt and that carry that stuff with them, then look for relationships where they can be safe. You know, I've been hurt so badly in the past. I'm going to choose someone who maybe I'm not that attracted to, or who isn't that successful, who isn't really what I want, but I know I'll be safe with that person. And then they go for that person, and the irony and the cruelty of life is that person will always, 99.9% of the time, end up not being secure and will end up hurting you. Because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So being free of pain allows you to actually make better choices in your emotional relationship life. So where am I? 14th of February. Yes, so Mercury opens that up. Also there's a grand trine in Earth on this day. And a grand trine is an area of ease, and that's in your relationships. And when you take practical action to communicate, the stacks, the stacks are ordered in your favor. The odds are stacked in your favor, okay? So go on a date on the 14th. If there's someone you have been interested in, put that into, make that a real thing. Reach out to someone, or make yourself available, or tell a friend that you're, you know, a friend who can then spread the news that you're looking for a date, or whatever it is. But it's a very positive day for you to rediscover that whole world of romance and love. So in terms of this month, so far what's really best for you is spirituality and self-help, and really reconnecting with your own hopes and dreams and opening up to love again. Okay, so you get a 10 out of 10 for that. So the planets are really helping you along those lines. Now on the 16th, the moon begins to oppose Saturn. And what that does for you is that the moon, again, is about me in situations, and Saturn is about restriction, especially when it comes to my place in life. And that's being re-evaluated. You'll notice that things are getting better and that you're moving forward in the right direction. So you can be a little bit smug on the 16th. You'll be very pleased with the progress that you're making. On the 17th, Venus goes into Aquarius in your 4th house. Venus is love and beauty, and I think you become very much focused on helping other people who are in a similar situation, or you want to give something back. But family-wise, you will get on very well with your family, and you'll feel that they are being supportive of you. So from the 17th onwards in February till the end of February, I think family life gets very, very positive, and you can rely on, you can expect your family to be what you would like them to be. They'll come through for you. Also on the 17th here, the moon starts to conjunct the Ascendant, and that then squares Jupiter in the North Node. So there's friction and movement between. This is like your first piece of evidence that if you ask for help, if you make yourself vulnerable, people will come through for you. And you've got to, that's a risk, and you've got to try that again to change your beliefs that people will, one, always take advantage, or that no one cares. You've got to let people show you things, and I feel that on the 17th, if you take an emotional risk, you will get a very positive outcome to that. On the 19th, there's a kite, and a kite literally is something that can take flight. It's a grand trine and then a triangle of harmony on top of it, and this is in water. So I really feel that through your practical actions, your emotions are healed, and you can really just relax, you know. It's like, oh, the trauma is over. It's such a relief, and I can really just feel it being lifted off your shoulder on the 19th. On the 20th, the moon opposes Mercury and Venus. But this is a kind of weird day in the middle of all of this emotional stuff that's going on. You'll really shine in some way in your work. I think you may be honored, or you may have something really positive happen, but really the spotlight is on you at work, whether you just win like a lotto or something that you play, not the lottery, but I'm saying like a within work, like a you know, like a bingo or a tombola or something that the colleagues do between themselves. Or it could be something that your project is a success or that you get a promotion, but so that the attention will be on you, and that will be very positive for you. On the 21st, there is a grand trine in the chart, and that's in fire. And that, okay, so that shows me that the work success the day before actually leaves you feeling very positive about your finances, your working life, and your career in general. So it's very likely that you either get a promotion or you get a raise. Or really the effect of the day before is that you feel super, super excited about your working life. The full moon occurs in Virgo on the 22nd of February, and the full moon is a culmination, it's a fruition of energy. So the full moon shines its light on planet Earth. It's Virgo energy that's being shone or shined. And for you, that's in your 11th house. And what that means for you, Scorpio, is that you really get some encouraging, positive, concrete validation that you're on the right track. So you'll get a nice phone call, or you'll receive a positive sign, or a family member will be really nice to you, or a relationship, someone will do something that you never expected in a positive way. And that will really give you the kind of, again, security and structure to trust more. And this can be, you know, I mean, we're obviously talking about scales here. This is a forecast for Scorpio. So this is for everyone born in that 30-day period. So we're going to have differences. Some people will completely not trust anybody and will be completely shut off and will have been single for 20 years. And other people may be 20 years old and never even been in a relationship and maybe a little bit guarded. So there are variations to this, okay? But ultimately the trend is that you get some encouragement, you get some proof, some practical evidence that it's okay to connect with other people on an emotional level. On the 24th, the moon conjuncts Jupiter and the North Node in your 11th house. And Jupiter and the North Node have been up there in your 11th house the whole month. This is a month where you can really take practical action to achieve, to realize your hopes and dreams, especially when it comes to romantic relationship stuff. Practical actions are kind of supported by the good luck of Jupiter. And now with the moon there on this day, the 24th, it means you feel more at ease and comfortable putting yourself out there and taking some actions. So this is a real month of turnaround from a real place of fear and being isolated to being much more open and taking action to improve things. And if you do take that action, you'll have a positive outcome. There's a T-square on the 26th of February, and that's between Jupiter and, is it? No. Jupiter and Neptune and Saturn, they form a T-square. So that's very much about changing your ideas in terms of how you see yourself when it comes to romantic relationships. I've talked about that. But this is the moon and Uranus peaking with Pluto in your third, and it's a very kind of similar idea. It's taking actions can alter your inner beliefs. And when you alter your inner beliefs, you alter the outer world, because the outer world is a reflection of your inside beliefs. Does that make sense? So sometimes you can't think your way out of a problem, you have to act your way out of a problem. And if you act as if you trust and you know that love is on its way, then it's much more likely that love is on its way than if you wait for it to happen. Okay, that was a bit of a brain twister. 28th of February, we've got a grand trine in water. And the moon is now in Scorpio in your sign, in your first house. And that makes you feel very much at ease again. And it's like, okay, it's been an emotional month. I've made a lot of progress, but I feel like I can chill, I can relax. I've learned a lot, and I'm much more on track with romantic things. So again, I know it's Valentine's Day on the 14th, okay? But if you're someone who has major issues with romantic relationships, and who really finds that is a struggle in your life, and you're a Scorpio, then February 2016 is going to be a month when you really progress and make so much progress in that area of your life. The planets are really aligning to help you through something really difficult, so you can come out the other side stronger and better. You'll start to feel that click into place by the 28th, It is a leap year, so we've got an extra day here. And on the 29th, the Moon and Mars, they conjunct in your first house, both in Scorpio. So yes, I've got the strength that I need to make changes in my life. I feel comfortable, can decompress, relax. So the end of the month, go on a spa day, or have some healing work done, have some Reiki done, have some healing touch done, have spiritual healing. It will really help you to get rid of all this negative stuff out of your system that's been kind of broken down over February, and to really cleanse your energetic field, and then to move into March much more easily and confidently and openly. Okay, so that's what I get for you in February. I hope that gives you something to go on. If you'd like a private reading with me about love life or career or anything really, then please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. I've had it redesigned. I'm really proud of it, so have a look. Click on readings and you'll see the types of readings that I offer. You can order it straight on the website. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel so these videos actually show up. And I'll speak to you next month for the monthly forecast, but I'm also here on the channel for the daily tarot forecast. So I'll speak to you soon.